Hey everybody, Crystal Crow back with a second pick a card video. I am really excited to get into this topic with you guys, but first I have a couple quick messages that I've been called to talk to you about. The first one being, I get a heavy sense that a lot of you who will be tuning in are going to be very new to spirituality and spiritual work. And so I'm going to ask that you do any spiritual work with protection and to do it responsibly, especially when tuning into your gifts. So I'm going to do my best to remember and link some of protection videos below, like in the description box or in a pinned comment, because it is of the utmost importance that you practice protection and to do things responsibly, because this work can get daunting and it can get daunting fast. And for me, I like to have as much protection as possible. So with that being said, last message, which was, I think some of you are pretty nervous. I feel kind of a nervous energy, especially over pile 3. So, and we'll get there, but think of this as dipping your toe in the water, and letting your body letting your body accumulate slowly to the temperature. There is no race. There is no time limit. This as a go as you please kind of a deal. So, all right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Hey Pile 1, so if you chose this beautiful purple blue butterfly, these messages are for you. Butterflies are a huge symbol of personal transformation. So I definitely am getting the feeling that a lot of you are going through a huge personal transformation right now. Oh, I'm getting these really these arm tingles, if you will. So that's definite spirit vibes, some definite confirmation for you guys there. This first card is the Eternal Child. Did we just say empath or highly sensitive? Because I'm definitely picking up that's your guys' energy. You guys are definitely empathic. And I think you guys have had this ability all throughout your life. I think what led up to you becoming an empath was definitely some tough upbringings within your childhood. But nonetheless, I think you're just very in tune with your inner child, Pile 1. I keep hearing inner child a lot. So you might have some inner child work to do, some inner child healing to do, and trust me, it can be done. You think there's not going to be a way out of it, you're going to fall down the rabbit hole and never get back out. Trust me, it is well worth the investment in therapy, and I'm laughing because I've gone through it and I know exactly how you guys feel. So, by the way, context with this card, totally forgot to say, I asked your spirit guides to give me a card representing Pile 1's energy, and you guys are definitely my empaths or my highly sensitive people. You're very in tune with your inner child, and I think, I keep being shown toys. So you guys might really like to look at the toy aisle or buy vintage toys, and I think that's really cool. In fact, I don't tell anybody, but I buy vintage toys as well. I have a pink Care Bear that sits on my desk, so it reminds me of really happy times and happy memories when I was a child. So if you're looking for that confirmation to buy a vintage toy, there you go. Crystal Crow gave it to you. Okay, now diving into your tarot messages first, we have some Four of Cups energy, some Three of Swords, and Knight of Swords. Okay, I'm definitely getting the vibe that you guys went through some really hard, I just keep hearing job, loss of a job, and it's kind of holding you back. So this is this Four of Cups energy. It's okay, the universe and your guides, oh, how funny, look, there's butterflies here too. There's butterflies and there's the butterfly. You chose the butterfly. I just think that's so great. Anyhow, but it's okay, so you've taken the steps to do your healing and you're taking these appropriate steps. Now it's time to take action to make these things happen. I have a lot to say, a lot that's coming through, and trying to funnel in, and it's just kind of hard. So bear with me, guys. We will get through this, I promise. It's time to start taking initiation and just start taking action. What does this action look like to you? And I know this is all about your intuitive gifts and not a career or inner child reading, but this energy is definitely holding you back. Like, you have earthly matters that you need to tie up first before you can start fully delving into these spiritual, to these intuitive gifts, because they will hold you down. It will hold you back. It's like a weight being wrapped around your ankle and you're being thrown in the ocean. So you are you, and the weight is like all these earthly problems. You will keep wanting to swim to the surface and be like, but I'm ready. And Spirit is saying, well, not so fast. You have some like with this Three of Swords energy, you have some healing you still need to overcome. And you're going to continue to heal as you take these actions. And like, look right here, we have the Knight of Swords. Like, Swords stands for thought and intellect, and sometimes action. And like, look at him. He's so sick of living within this energy. So you're kind of currently within this energy right now, and your guides and Spirit are telling you, like, look, you're right here, but trust us, you're going to make it out of this if you take this action. Like, keep taking the actions that you have been, and you're going to be eventually sick of living in this, and so you're going to start charging forward. Like, you're going to cut yourself free of this weight, swim to the surface, and you're going to be much better for it. Now, what's interesting is we have the Page of Swords down here. Now, after we've gone through this energy up here, right, we've taken initiative, we're taking these actions, we've cut ourselves free of the weight. Now we come down here, and this is more about, so this is what's holding you back, where you need to be to get into this, right? I'm hoping I'm not sounding like a broken record, but with this Page of Swords, it's like, okay, I'm ready to take on these spiritual gifts now. I'm ready to study. I'm ready to be like, and also be protected and be responsible. I cannot iterate this enough. So many times people, and I've seen this, I know people, really good friends of mine, who have been like, oh yeah, I'm just going to delve right in, and they do it without protection, and then bad things start to happen, and then they write off their spiritual psychic gifts, and then they close themselves off, and it's really unfortunate because, like, think of what we could use with these gifts, and think of how you can improve the world with your gifts, right? So it's just unfortunate when those things happen, but I digress. Anyhow, you're ready, okay? I just heard clairsentience as well when I touched the card. So, and that definitely would stand to you guys, like that would go hand in hand with the whole empathic and highly sensitive vibe I was picking up. You guys can feel things. And I'm also sensing like it'll go past that too. Like, you'll start sensing spirits and things like that. And that is if you guys want to. You are allowed to set intentions and with your guides and with Spirit. So please keep that in mind. But you will also, like, you'll get like spirit chills. That's what I call them. I used to call them the Jesus vibes, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. That's just what I call them. But it's like, you get these vibes that just suddenly strike your body, and you're like, oh, that was confirmation. Like, it's just kind of crazy. I can't explain it much more than that. It's like, okay, so your body gets these chills. It's like, you were thinking of something. You were like, hey, I should call my friend Karen today and see how she's doing. And then you get like these major, like, for me, it feels like lightning bolts shooting up and down my legs. And then I call Karen, and it turns out Karen really needed help. So that can also be an example of clairsentience. But really picking up, I think you guys are really good at picking up and reading people as well. Like, you're a very good people reader. Some of you also, like, I see the, like, how this bear is dressed, and like, you guys are highly intelligent. I'm kind of surprised that I don't see the Judgment card out here, because as well, what I'm seeing is like, I think you're on the precipice of really diving into the spiritual realm. And we're spending a lot of time on this card, and there's a very big reason why. I think a lot of skeptics are tuning in right now, and that's totally okay. In fact, I highly encourage you to have a healthy dose of skepticism, because it's good, it keeps you grounded. But it's like, that is not who you are, pile one. And your guides are like, it's time to rip off the label of skeptic and move forward. Like, you also don't have to be so, you don't have to label yourself, and you don't have to be so extreme of, well, I am a person of science, I am a skeptic, so this is me right here. But you don't have to be so, I guess, like a really negative term is hippie woo woo and all of this. You don't have to be so extreme on either side of the spectrum. You can be right smack dab in the middle, and you can have a very balanced approach. There is nothing wrong with that. So I think this is also speaking to this Page of Swords energy, is learning first and foremost where you sit with these things after you come out of this energy. After you're finally ready to bust down the door and go, okay, maybe I'm ready to start entertaining the thought that I do have some gifts, and that I'd like to work with them. I just heard the word medium too, so I think a lot of you are could be mediums. So there's that. Anyhow, temperance. I really do see you like really leaning into these gifts and being really excited. But remember what I said about being excited. You want to be protected, and you want to do this responsibly. And this is what this card is about, is like moderation. Like, have some balance with it as well. I see, like, if you look, like, this bear, he's just like, he's chilling in the water, and he's just like, okay, I will develop these things in time when I'm ready. That is how you should be thinking. Like, this is definitely what you need to know, because then you're going to come into this Queen of Wands energy, and it's really fabulous because it's like you really honing in and owning these gifts. I need to move my candle so I don't catch myself afire. Is that a term? Let's pretend it is and don't tell anybody, okay? Okay. So if you see like this glowing ember, I'm trying to fix the lighting and it's just not really working. So we're gonna have to do some adjusting. Hold on 1 minute, guys. There we go. There's just gonna be this orange cast for the rest of the video, and that's just, it is what it is. So I see you guys really honing in. So in tarot, when it comes to the court cards, it goes Page, Knight, Queen, and King, okay? So Queen is you really stepping into like this really awesome, as well as like nurturing energy. So remember, like we've talked about being really in tune with our inner child, being an empath or a highly sensitive person. I really feel like you're going to hone in on these gifts, especially with your clairsentience. And I'm also hearing like if you so choose, you will develop other clairsenses, and they will all come in time, especially if I'm picking up that some of you are mediums. Your clairsenses are very important. And also it all depends on who you decide to get training from or mentor under, or what you research. So don't take my word for these things either. Please feel free. I do not want to be your only source of information. I do not know it all and would never claim as such. I am always constantly learning. In fact, I think we all are. But I definitely see you like helping out a lot of families as well with your gift and bringing people a lot of closure, which once again brings it back to that whole thing about being a medium. So mediums really help people. And I think that's a very beautiful gift, and I think it's a very beautiful thing to have, Pile 1. I think you're onto really great things. Now, with the Emperor, I definitely know there's some Aries peeps tuning in. This card carries Aries energy, and I just feel it. I see the sign in my mind's eye. I laugh just because I'm getting really excited. That's why I laugh. It's not nervous or anything. I just get super excited. And I'll try to be more mindful of it. Also, when I see this card, it's like okay, I'm going to repeat this one more time for the people in the back. Once you're coming out of this energy, and then we're coming into this, and we're going through these phases and these transformations and owning our gifts and helping people, you're being advised to really dig your heels in at this point. So after you come out of all of this, wrapping up these earthly matters, cutting yourself free, and starting embracing what you have, doing it with moderation and helping people, there's going to be scary bumps in the road. Like I just heard scary bumps. Do not let it scare you. Stand in within your own power, within your own authenticity, and get back up on the horse. Like this will be the time where you dig your heels in and really hone your gifts. Wow. I really felt that. That's so beautiful. I don't know if you guys just felt that energy, but gosh, like I did. And I'm really excited for what you guys are going to do, pile one. Like I keep seeing like TikTok as well. So I think some of you will end up starting your own TikTok pages, and I'm hesitant to put like a time limit on it. Just because I don't want to put it out there and then somebody comments and tears me apart going, you said this was going to happen in, such and such months, and then it never did. But I definitely see it happening within your own time. That's what we'll say. So I went ahead and asked for some oracle cards as well for additional information on what you need to know. With you guys, we have a grand symphony. And look at this. We have a heart. Great big love. You guys are definitely like, we have, going back to this inner child, and then we have the Queen of Wands. And now we have this big old heart. I think you guys have a big heart full of love. And that really stands to being in tune with your inner child, right? And the empath vibes, all of that. And you need, you're being encouraged to really own your big heart. I think I just heard you've been accused of wearing your heart on your sleeve. So what? That makes for some of the best people in this world, man. I call everybody man. Anyhow, own this. Own it. We need more people like you to shine your light in the world. A grand symphony. Ooh, when I touch this card, I hear you being true to yourself, singing your own song, doing your own things. And this, owning this and really going for it. And so, okay. Last thing on the whole, on this energy up here, I had touched on jobs for some of you. Think of whatever happened to you as happening for you and not to you. It happened for a very big reason. I keep seeing these miserable people in suits. So I think some of you worked corporate jobs and it didn't work out for you. It wasn't anything you did. It was on whoever did the thing to you. Whoever did these terrible things to you, pile one, it was on them. It is a direct reflection of them. And don't take it personally, and also know that they will never give you an explanation. And your spirit guides are stop chasing dead ends. That life was never for you. You were meant to lead a much more fun and interesting life, and it's time to own that. So start cutting that weight away and swimming to the surface and getting ready to step into some amazing things, singing your own song, owning that you're a very loving and a lovable person. I feel warm, fuzzy feelings. That's just incredible. I feel like you guys probably light up a room as well when you walk in. Ooh, a light just flickered, so I know that's true. Oh, we have more hearts. Definitely. Okay, numbers. Chakras. I heard cleanse. So some of you might need to set intentions with your guides to cleanse, to go through a chakra cleanse. Coins, loved ones in spirit, and house. So let's come back to these two a little bit later. I really want to talk about these first. Okay. Now okay, hold on. There we go. I knew we could fit it all in frame. Oh, we did it. Made it through so much. If you're still with me, thank you so much for watching. Okay, hearts. Definitely, you're a very sensitive person, but don't think of this as a weakness. Think of it as your utmost strength. You are brave enough to charge into the world and just say, this is who I am. This is what I'm feeling. Deal with it. I mean, don't be mean about it, but this is totally the energy I'm getting. And I love this because I'm exactly this way. Sometimes not in the best way. my parents told me the other day I could start a podcast called the Pissy Podcast. That's how brash and blunt I am about everything. So, anyway, and if you're an Aries listening in, I think you definitely know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I heard another tarot reader call it the Aries scaries. Like, do not cross our paths, man. So with numbers, your guides are sending you signs and synchronicities. So look for angel numbers, which are repeating numbers, which is 333, 222. Like, it go all of it. There's actually an app called Angel Numbers that you can download for free, or you can also search them on Google what they mean. There's a lot of great resources out there. So if you've been seeing repeating numbers, it definitely means something. Your angels and your guides, which angels are part of your spirit team. I believe we all at least have one guardian angel on our spirit team. My gosh, I cannot talk today to save my life. Just like, know that they're trying to communicate with you with this card. So with this chakra cleanse, this message came out the other day for somebody else for a personal reading, but I'm going to tell you guys it because I definitely feel it when I touch the card. But as you're going through your transformation, how I like to think of it, and maybe this is wrong, ask for a chakra cleanse, and this is going to mean your body might purge. So, and that's going to be on an individual basis. But I know when I ask for a chakra cleanse with my guides, my body is purging and is not a pretty picture. So if that happens to you, just know that that's normal, and then obviously seek medical advice if you need it. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not for that. But after you go through your chakra cleanse, there's a lot of guided meditations on YouTube that talk about or that guide you through a protective meditation where you ask your guides to come in and help you to start opening up your chakras. And this will in turn to, for example, opening up your third eye and opening up your crown chakras. So opening up your third eye is opening up clairvoyance for one, and your crown chakra would be the claircognizance. So opening those up, you'll get those intuitive downloads, you'll start seeing things, having prophetic dreams, and that's all on an individual basis. So, but I would definitely just recommend doing a chakra cleanse at first, because if you think about it, it's like I want to cleanse something before I open it. That's how I like to think about it. Your process could look different, and that's okay. Coins. Okay, I want to talk about this one and this one. I go back to TikTok with this, and when I hear loved ones in spirit, I feel like this definitely talked about this card here of helping people. So you're going to help people get that closure. Now, I also do feel like you have a lot of ancestors on your spirit team, and this is them giving you this loving kick in the butt of hey, get going. You were meant for an extraordinary life. Leave that old stuff behind. Get a cleanse. Leave it behind. This is no longer serving you. Step into what you were meant to. And this life is also going to bring you a lot of abundance, I feel. Not only in terms of money, I definitely feel like you'll make good money at it should you choose to do it and stick with it. This work is not for the faint of heart either. And if you're going to dig your heels in, I think you're going to get a lot of personal satisfaction out of it. And I just heard teacher. So a lot of you could definitely be stepping into a teaching role after you've come into your gifts and really honed in on them. You could be teaching other people how to open up and tune in. And that's I would imagine that's a really wonderful feeling. Anyhow, now with house, this one I'm not too sure about. Let me pull the book on this one, because I'm just not sure about that one. But your guides wanted you to know something about house. Okay, let's read it together. If you guys can see that, I'm not sure. Hear me. All right, house. Your house is a safe haven. You are protected and loved. Oh, Oh, that's so nice. You have received this card as the universe wants you to know you will have stability and protection within your home. The psychic reading card of the house can represent a number of different meanings. Focus on the explanation that resonates best for you. Okay, so we have a couple to choose from. The house can relate to family, to feelings of security and safety, and how settled you feel in your family home. Filling your house with love, light, and laughter can help to lift the vibration of your home, making a wonderful place in which to dwell. I can personally speak to that. If you are currently experiencing relationship issues and or the possibility of separation, divorce, or relationship breakup, this card will relate to your fears of losing the home or the feeling of wanting to move and get away from your current situation. I don't feel that for you guys, but it could resonate for some of you. The house card can be related to sale or purchase of a new house. It can also mean you're deciding whether to build, renovate, or move from your current home. The house card can be connected to real estate, hence the image of the Monopoly board. This relates to you creating a property portfolio or wealth through buying and or selling. The house card can relate to the property of a loved one who has passed away and is in the spirit world. Have you or family members been left a house or property through an inheritance? If so, this card represents the negotiations connected to the property. Pay attention to the shaking hand image on the card, as it will help to reveal how negotiations will proceed. Very interesting. My intuitive hit with the house, I feel like I see you going in houses to clear them out, but in a very nice way. And I feel like you are very well, as well with this card. Like I just talked about your ancestors, and this card talked about protection. I feel like these are definitely linked in the way that you are definitely going to be protected in this line of work should you choose to keep going down this road and own and step into your gifts 100% and to dig your heels in, right? But I feel like you're going to be helping so many people, like cleanse houses, do shaman work, do mediumship work. That's what I feel, but those other meanings could definitely mean something to you. So there is that. Okay, pile one, thank you for listening to me stumble through this reading. I'm sorry for the focusing issues, but thank you so much for coming back and joining me for this. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. If you picked this beautiful blue high-vibing dragonfly, these messages are for you. It's been a hot minute since I've filmed or uploaded, and I'd really like to get back into that rhythm. So let's go ahead and jump right into your messages. Pile 2, I am feeling your spirit guides just really chirping in my ears. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, and I'd like to get these messages out to you. Okay, so what I did, me and my spirit guides, we pulled a card to represent your energy. You guys got the Village. I found that very interesting. And then I pulled your tarot cards, and it all makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this from the book and then pair it with your tarot reading. And we're going to look at what you need to know about your intuitive gifts. Right off the bat, when I was shuffling, I heard claircognizance and clairaudience. Claircognizance is clear knowing. You just know things without there being an explanation for you to really know them. It's kind of like sometimes it feels like somebody has dropped sentences or paragraphs into your head. And then clairaudience is clear hearing. And you hear other things that aren't of this, I'm hesitant to say of this world, but you hear things that you don't normally hear, I suppose. Like you hear conversations out of nowhere and then you turn around and nobody is there. Or sometimes if you're doing a tarot reading and you hear things, that is also a really good example of it. I'm just explaining it terribly. But nonetheless, let's get the show on the road. So I was a little confused by this. I'm going to go ahead and pull from the book, but then, like I said, I paired it with your tarot cards and it makes a lot of sense with your guys' energy. So this card is to represent your energy. I also heard when I pulled it, it takes a village. So that saying usually resonates with a lot of parents. You could be a new parent tuning in. I'd like to let you know I'm a parent and I still find time to practice spirituality, tarot, and all the metaphysical things that I like to do. So it's not, how do I say this? You don't feel like you have to make a choice between raising a family and spirituality, or your family and pursuing the metaphysical side. In fact, I will tell you, because I just feel like somebody needs to hear that, and somebody needs to hear this. Spirituality has just made me a much better person. It's made me really self-aware, and I've gone through a lot of leveling up and a lot of ego deaths since starting this journey, and it's just made me a better version of myself time and time again. And just know that it's not a race, and maybe that's why the chariot has showed up, but there's time to develop. Okay, so the village presents us with a conundrum. Here, that's what I'm reading from. And with pile ones, I kind of had this tendency to keep putting the book up, and up. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm just going to read from back here. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about growth. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists. One most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present any time we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. Okay. So you guys are, I sense that a lot of my viewers who are tuning in, at least at this point for this pile, and I probably said it in the intro as well, that you guys are probably pretty new to spirituality. I think my followers are pretty new at this point, and I'm so excited. Let's go on this journey together. Welcome, and just know you're not alone. And if you guys have any questions that you think I might be able to help you with, please drop them in the comments. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram, so if you can slide into my DMs there, if that's possible, you might want to do that. And if I don't have the answer, I can at least help point you in the right direction. I don't know it all, and I would never claim as such. But I'm getting the word confused a lot. Like, you're confused on what you should do. You know what? No, this is going to stay there. So this is your energy right now. You are coming to this thing of this is what I've known my whole life. How dare I want to leave the comfort and safety of this? But you know it's no longer for you. It's no longer a good fit. Do some of you really like shoes? Or maybe do a purging of your closets lately? Because I keep being shown a pair of shoes. It's not the perfect fit anymore. They don't fit quite right, or they're a little... Whatever these shoes are to you or may represent to you, it's time to throw out those shoes, put on a pair of trusty ones, and start walking towards your destiny. Oh, that was a really strange... Not strange. That was a really... I can't even find the words. I have a lot that's trying to come through at once, and I'm trying my best to articulate it, but just stay with me and we'll get there. Put on a pair of trusty shoes and start walking towards it. You're doubting yourself a lot right now. I think with the claircognizance as well, if you see there's a hand and there's an offering in the bowl, and she's just kind of maybe... I don't know what I'm really going to do with this bowl, so I'm just going to leave it there and ignore these intuitive nudges I've been getting. And spirit and your guides are it is time to move on. So with this, it's kind of you see these birds and they're chirping in this poor girl's ear. And she's kind of she's a little I don't want to say discombobulated, but kind of confused. You have the intuitive nudges. Trust your intuition. I think you guys are very claircognizant. I think you're very good at grounding as well, which would stand with this like hermit energy. But like with this Two of Swords, you're like, I have very minimal support on this new journey I really want to go on, but yet everybody's telling me like, oh, this isn't good, or you know, oh my gosh, I'm abandoning everything I've known. Religion really wanted to pop out. I think some of you are coming from a religious background. I came from a religious background, and you know, I'm alive, I survived, and I don't damn anybody who practices religion. If it serves you, that's good for you, but from the energy I'm picking up, babe, this is no longer serving you. And it's okay to leave. I just heard the word rumor mills. Unfortunately, people are going to gossip about you. This village is going to gossip about you. Let them. And you know what? You don't owe anybody any explanations for where you're going or why. In fact, what makes you think they're going to understand that? Well, that definitely wanted to come out. It felt a little forceful. Like you really needed to hear that, which would stand to this Four of Cups of like, we're telling you, and now you've clicked on this video, please listen. Please kind of like, how do I say this? Like shoo them off. Just be like, okay, just kind of leave some mystery. There's nothing wrong with that because you don't owe anybody anything. And it's time to listen to yourself. It's time to listen to the universe. What is the universe telling you to do? And the universe is like, look, if you just take 5 minutes a day and just sit within some peace, what does that look like to you? It could be a nice luxurious bubble bath, a shower. I know that we all, okay, so this really wants to come out. With intuitive gifts, clairaudience, like let's go over the four main clair senses real quick. Clairaudience, hearing, claircognizance, clear knowing, clairsentience, clear feeling, and clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. So all of these are very different for every person. It's a tailor-made thing. It depends on the signs that you get and what they mean to you. For example, whenever I look at people, for my clairvoyance, sometimes I get pictures of insects or animals out of nowhere, and I go, what? What the heck does that mean? And then I think about it, and I'm like, wait a second. So sometimes it's like it's telling me like this person has the same qualities of this insect or this animal. And sometimes I see flashes of color when I look at people, and it's telling me that a chakra might be blocked. And sometimes it's as simple as their favorite color. And that all usually tends to come out with a reading. But that is a tailor-made kind of a thing. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. I'm hoping this is resonating with somebody, because I feel like I'm talking in circles and just talking a bunch of nonsense. But I feel like if you just go and you turn your brain off for at least 5 minutes a day, you'll get those intuitive downloads much quicker. And this comes in the form of like, you could do showering, you could bathe, like a luxurious bubble bath, like we said, hiking, coloring, anything that's kind of mindless, gardening for some of you. So I find gardening really therapeutic as well. Some of you might really be into baking, cleaning, anything that turns off the human part for 5 minutes to allow that information, that clear knowing to seep in. You'll find your answers within the silence, which is kind of a funny concept, isn't it? Because we tend to get answers from talking with other people and professionals and all of that, when really we've already had it within inside ourselves all along. And I think you know exactly what you need to do. I think it's time for an exodus. And yes, I'm making a biblical reference. Hopefully that's comforting to some of you and gives you a little bit of a chuckle. If not, just tell me that you did in the comments to make me feel better. So after, like with these intuitive gifts, like you're kind of like within this denial part of like, I really want to start stepping into like these intuitive downloads I've been getting and the things that I've been like, because I know I'm hearing things that other people aren't, and I know it means something. after we do that, we're making a choice to go. So like Two of Wands is making a choice. Are we going to go and travel the world? Like, Lord have mercy. I can get these I can get the answers out. I promise. The answers, no. The messages. My God. Okay. Are we going to go and travel the road less traveled, or are we going to stay within our comfort zone? So you will get those right here. I do think that if you've already clicked on this video, you're well on your way to making that decision to go travel the road less traveled. And I believe that's a Robert Frost poem. So if you guys are really into poetry, that might definitely be for you. That might mean something to you, or you might want to go check out Robert Frost. He is, in my opinion, a very excellent poet. I sounded kind of like a basic B just then, didn't I? Let's brush over that. Let's keep going. I think you're going to find a lot more harmony within these gifts than you realize. So Six of Cups is a very harmonious card, and a lot of the times it talks about like having a harmonious home life as well. I think when I touch this card, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing is, and it really stands to this energy up here, you are at war with yourself over this decision to really step into these gifts. You're afraid of judgment and rumors. And at its core, that's just what it is, isn't it, Pile 2? It's just judgment and rumors. I think you just need to let go of what other people think of you and start thinking of it as, that's none of my business. And it's so hard to do, and it's such a hard pill to swallow, but you're going to be better for it. But you currently being at war with yourself and kind of being indecisive about it is kind of eating you up, and you're not in quite this harmonious household. Like, I think you're afraid of what a spouse might think, or a longtime partner. I don't know. I just keep let me clarify. It's not that you have a bad relationship whatsoever. I'm not getting that. I'm getting that you're just not comfortable with you. And I feel like when you make this choice and you have these honest talks with your partner of, hey, I have these weird things going on with me and I really would like to pursue them, I think they're going to understand. I mean, that is really your choice to make, and if it's safe to do so, please don't, make choices best suited for yourself. But I think you're afraid you're going to upset the household once this comes out. It's kind of weighing on you really heavy. I'm just knowing things without knowing them, and I'm just hearing things without them being in the 3D. It's kind of freaking me out. I think if you, how do I say this? Just have some honest sit-downs, where you can be quiet and together and alone. I think you'll find the support you need. And that would also speak to the Six of Cups. And if you look, here's this little boy supporting his puppy, and then down here, they're still together after all these years, supporting, one another, companionship and all of that. So I think if you open up to your inner circle, to your trusted inner circle, you're going to find that there's no judgment there. I think they're going to be like, oh, that's so cool. When did this start? But just be very careful and selective and choosy of who you're letting into that inner circle. And if it would help, how do I say this? Make an appointment with a professional medium. They might be able to give you the answers you're seeking. Book appointments with somebody who resonates with you. Don't be afraid to do a little research and check out their page. But what I'm hearing is book an appointment with a stranger, because they're not going to care enough to lie to you. I had to do this recently with something myself, and guess what? It's no one's business what you do. It's no one's business that you're going to book this appointment. You don't know anyone anything. I think though, after you come out of this, you're going to get some answers and verify that you're not crazy, and you're going to come out of that warlike state with yourself, right? And you're going to be racing towards it. You're not going to be able to get enough. I wanted to say tarot cards just now. I think a lot of you will start diving into tarot cards, possibly pendulums, crystals most definitely. Crystals are a big thing in the metaphysical and the spiritual community because they are super pretty, but also there are certain crystals that are great for certain things. You might want to get yourself a nice quartz crystal like this. It's good for self-healing, so I'm pretty sure it's great for other things, but your guides definitely wanted me to show you the crystal. So you can get them on, I would prefer getting them off of Etsy just because you get to support a mom and pop shop. So, but if you would like to order from somewhere else, or if you want to buy locally, that is super awesome too. But I think you'll find yourself in a much better space after you open up and after you make an appointment. I'm trying not to make this sound like a personal reading, but I just think that some of you will get the answers you're seeking, like after you finally make a decision and go, okay, I need to, not only for me, but for the betterment of my household, I need to get a lid on this. What am I? What is going on with me? And you're going to feel a lot better. It's going to feel like a haircut. Do you guys ever get like the dead ends trimmed off, or maybe you shave your head and you just feel so much lighter and so much better? You're going to feel that way. And then it's kind of like total freedom. You're like, oh my gosh, here's this other side this other world, the world that I never even knew about. I really see you embracing it and being a much happier, better person for yourself. And these are just the messages that want to come out. I tried to steer clear of anything sounding kind of self-helpy or anything like that. You know what? Let me pull, I guess they're like affirmations. Let me pull one of those right now. We were going to move into oracles, but something is just saying for this group we need to do an affirmation. All right, pile 2 spirit guides. Can we get a positive card for their affirmation in regards to their intuitive gifts, please? Okay. Get centered. When it gets to be too much, whatever it is, I close my eyes and return to my center. In my center, I have the wisdom and tranquility of, what is your favorite animal? Holding a, what is the magical item? Floating through space on a whatever piece of furniture. So, like, what did we just talk about with getting centered? Like, you already have all the information within you. I think you know what you are, and I think you know the gifts you have. I think you just want that outside verification, and there's nothing wrong with that. So let's say this one more time. I'll just fill in the blanks for you, and then you can fill in your own. When it gets to be too much, whatever it is, I close my eyes and return to my center. In my center, I have the wisdom and tranquility of an elephant, holding a magical wand, floating through space on an ottoman. That's what I chose to go with. You could definitely choose to go with something else. But getting centered is of the utmost importance for you guys right now. So let's go ahead, and I went ahead and pulled your oracles for additional information on what we need to know about your intuitive gifts. So we have Call of the Muse and Ears Wide Open. Now, I think I'm going to pull the book on this one, but Ears Wide Open would really speak to the ears wide open. I think you guys definitely hear like conversations from the spirit world, and if you guys feel comfortable and protected enough to do so, you guys can ask, hey, can you guys be a little more discerning or a little more clear with what you're saying? I'd like to hear what you have to say and see if anybody answers you. I do want to give a quick disclaimer though, like, please be protected and responsible when you're opening up to your gifts. I cannot say that enough. It is very important, and to please set your intentions with what you will and will not be open to. So a quick, like, you can say like, I'm only going to work with high vibing energies. I am closed to everything below, and make that intent very clear. So, and please do your own research and do what resonates with you. So we're going to go ahead and do Call of the Muse, but I definitely feel like Spirit is like, this is your sign, right? Like, this is your sign to go ahead and step into these gifts. So let's go ahead and pull a book on this. Call of the Muse. When you feel the call of the Muse, you are being invited to create, to be the artist choreographing your life, serving on behalf of the great artist, divine source. While the process feels intensely personal, your ego and self-identification are, ironically, the most unnecessary parts of the equation. While you might think you own the magic of your creativity, can you truly say you're the source of the inspiration? Similar to the spirit of genius from card 29, imagine your creativity stemming from another spirit guide, the Muse. Just as the genius needs to partner with your intellect, so too does the Muse need you to open your heart and let magic flow through your intuition and emotions. Stop seeing yourself as the center of the process and instead see yourself as a partner in the creative dance. Sometimes you might be inside the music and the feelings, the story and its expression. Other times you observe from the sidelines, watching it all flow from an unknown yet deeply intimate source. Today, your Muse is calling you to be a channel and allow the creative energy to flow through you. The energy of emotion is waiting to be given a voice, a name, a shape, or a color. Journal, finish that writing project, start something new, paint, sing, dance. And don't worry where any of it lands. It has its own plans for you. Your Muse knows where this is all meant to go. For you, the big magic is in the experience of answering the call. Okay. So when I definitely felt a lot of this speaking to your intuitive gifts here. So when it's speaking in the very beginning, you are being invited to create, to be the artist choreographing your life, serving on behalf of the great artist, divine source. I think once again, like what I said, this is your call to action. Like, God has got you. You wouldn't have these gifts just out of nowhere randomly. You were choosing to tap in, my friend. And Spirit wants you to answer the call. And by the way, you can use the term spirit, universe, God, whatever term resonates with you, okay? And then let's see. While the process feels intensely personal, your ego and self-identification are, ironically, the most unnecessary parts of the equation. I think we touched on that in the very beginning. We talked about turning off the human part, and we talked about walking away from things that we thought we knew about ourselves or used to define us. But now we're walking towards something else entirely. And I think that's what that card is definitely speaking to. And I think as well, it said something about journaling. So a good way to get like those intuitive downloads is going to those quiet places and learning to turn off your brain. And try automatic writing. See what pops out on the page. Just kind of like let your hand be relaxed and just start to journal, whatever comes to mind. And look at it as soon as you're done, and I guarantee you it'll make a lot, like, it might take a couple practices, but it'll make sense and it's a message meant for you. So that is what that is speaking to. I think also it says something about listening through music, which is interesting because I feel like your guides definitely speak to you through music, and that would also pair with the ears wide open and the clairaudience. They're giving you, and also in a sense with your claircognizance that we were touching on, they are speaking to you through the music. So if you feel like, oh, this song came on the radio just at random, or like let's just say okay, let me give you a quick personal example. I was going through a really hard financial time a couple years ago. I wasn't touching my earphones or anything, but they were in. I was scrolling through Instagram or YouTube, something of that sort, and my music just came on randomly, and Don't You Worry About a Thing, I probably said that wrong, by John Legend came on. And it was like my guides knew I really needed that message, that everything was going to be fine and not to worry so much and not to worry at all, because in the grand scheme of things, it's really out of our control. So, and we can only just roll with the punches as much as possible. So, third eye. this is very interesting. So third eye, you're very intuitive. Like your third eye, you guys could also be very like clairvoyant. So you guys could see, have prophetic dreams, see those animals or colors when you look at people. What else? I mean, gosh, it's so personal to everybody, but, and you could just have visions come out of nowhere. Let me know how, like, your clairvoyance comes through. I think some of you already really have this and know what I'm talking about. So if you don't mind sharing, drop it in the comments. But I feel like this also pairs, so like, if you look, it's right here, the third eye. I feel like it also helps open up your clairaudience as well. Okay, then we have Tree of Life, numbers, and celebration. With the numbers, I feel like 2. I'm seeing 2 a lot. I know that's 26, but if you look, like there's a 2 here, a 2 there, a 2 here, and then you had 2 of Wands and 2 of Swords. And to me, 2s represent making a choice. So, and that would really speak to the theme of your overall reading, is making that choice that you're going to either move forward or stay comfortable where you are, and you're not going to rock the boat. But that choice is entirely up to you, pile 2. It's kind of funny too, because you guys are pile 2. So your guides definitely speak to you through numbers and synchronicities. So for example, 222, 333, any repeating numbers. I know that that's not quite the right term, but if you keep seeing like a repeating number on the clock, like let's say 655, there might definitely be some meaning to that. You can download the Angel Numbers app. I think it's a free app, and type in 655 and it will definitely tell you like what that means. But if you like, definitely if you keep catching like, or if you keep catching them on a license plate or like in your job or anything, it's definitely a message meant for you. And it's here's how you know. If you weren't meant to see it, you wouldn't. But it's placed directly in your path for a reason. The universe is that powerful. So let's go ahead and switch that, because we just talked about that card. And then now Tree of Life, I'm going to pull the book on that one as well. I'm pulling the book a lot, but I just want to make sure it's all going together appropriately. Okay. If you can hear the wind outside, it is really windy, like it was from my last pick a card reading. I am sensing a pattern here. Okay, Tree of Life. Knowledge surrounds you. Reconnect with nature today. How beautiful. And I think we talked about grounding practices a little bit too when we touched on the Hermit. You have received this card as the universe wants you to get back to your roots and ground your soul. Oh, definitely. That's Hermit energy right there. The Tree of Life is a sacred tree that contains the knowledge of the universe. When you are grounded and connected to the earth, you have the ability to tap into the knowledge contained within the wisdom of the tree. Oh, okay. Like Tree of Knowledge. Got it. I feel like that's kind of like a tug at a biblical reference for some of you. The Tree of Life psychic reading card indicates that you are not isolated. It is a message that you are deeply connected to the world around you and all within it. The energy of the tree wants you to wants you to realize you have the ability to thrive and grow when you are connected to the universe. We have talked about connecting and growing this whole time, pile 2. This is definitely your sign to open up and to leave that safe space. But that is your choice. Please remember that. The tree also indicates what an amazing and unique being you truly are. The Tree of Life can also symbolize your family and its connection through its intricate branches and roots. Life grows and the generations are interconnected, and throughout our ever-expanding branches, such as those who went before us and those who will come after, such as grandparents, parents, ourselves, children, and grandchildren. It is always important to pay attention to the tree. Notice in which direction it grows and the twists and turns and branches have developed. The tree is a symbol of your life's path and the challenges and achievements you will have and reach in your life. The knowledge of the past and the present is strongly rooted within the tree. When you look at the psychic reading card, you know and feel in your heart that your connection to the universe is growing and expanding. So you are aligned with what went before you and what will go ahead of you. This card wants you to know that there are greater things to come in your life. Thus, it is very important to pay attention to the sacred knowledge that is available to you at this time. You are a tree of wealth and knowledge. Listen to the universe so that your gifts will be unveiled. That is so beautiful. Okay, I love how the universe works. It is such beautiful ways. That was definitely talking about growth. And I think we talked about already having the information within us and trusting the universe and trusting that you're going to be making the right decision for yourself to keep going. And also, it's not a race, right? You don't have to know all the answers tomorrow. You can take your time with this. You can dip your toe in the water and let yourself slowly get used to the temperature. Or if you want to jump all in and do cannonballs, that's on you. And it might be a better way to do it. Please choose your own pace. But I think with the celebration card, like after you've accepted things and come into like acceptance and going, okay, the universe has got me. It's never let me down this far. God has got me. Why would he drop me now? I think is a really good way to think about this card, and especially in regards to your entire reading at this point. Now with celebration, I definitely feel like we're going to just kind of peek back over here. With the celebration card, you're going to be like, why didn't I do this sooner? Oh my gosh. Like, I really see good things, and I see a really supportive inner circle for you. But the world is also about celebrating. It's like, yes, I climbed the mountaintop and I made it, and now it's time to rest and celebrate. But also celebrating that you decided to tap in and tune into these wonderful, beautiful gifts. And you're willing to honor the call, is what I just heard. But also you're going to celebrate, I feel, more than just your intuitive gifts. I think you're going to be celebrating a much happier household because you are happier with you. I feel called to say this real quick, pile 2, and it's a good message for me as it is for you. If you ever think about it, I think a lot of you tuning in are either of an older generation, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I just think that you might be older peeps, or I think some of you are parents, and you could be young parents. That definitely could be the case. But if you notice, like, if you feel a little erratic and like crazy and out of control, your kids take that energy and kind of return that energy to you. Energy returns energy. So I feel like once you come at peace with this and you're like, and you feel like you can breathe, I feel like you'll get to that harmonious household. And that's also another good reason to celebrate is, yes, I know where I stand with everything now. I stand firm within my truth. I stand firm within my own authenticity. I don't need anyone else's permission or validation. I've got this. And I know God won't drop me. Like, he's got my back. I felt like some of you really needed to hear that. All right, pile 2, this was your reading. And, oh, you know what? No, it is not. We had one more card. I saw this card, and I meant to bring it up earlier, but we're going to bring it up now. And this is the bottom deck energy for this card. And I definitely feel like, if anything, this is your sign to be like, you're continually hitting dead ends within your comfort zone. And it's just something to think about and mull over. And then, after this card, we have the Pilgrim, and then we have the Mystic. You think about it, what did the Pilgrims do? They left, and they left to start a new life for themselves. I think you need to make that choice to, in this sense, it's metaphorical, to metaphorically leave that comfort zone. Because you are a very in tune person, you are very mystic, and you have gifts, and they're not fully dialed in yet, believe it or not. That's what I'm being told. Like, and they will keep developing over time. So even as you tap in, there's always room for growth. Think of it as self-improvement. Like, there's always room for growth. So And I feel like that's a good place to leave off in your reading, pile 2. In case you want to screenshot this, I'm going to leave those right there. Your guys was a little bit of a lengthier reading. Don't tell the other piles, but I'm very honored to share these messages with you. And please let me know how this resonates in the comments. Okay, guys, see you next time. Bye. Hey, pile 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose this beautiful, high vibing red ladybug, these messages are meant for you. I am really excited to get to you guys. I have been chomping at the bit to get this one done. It's just my life has been a little crazy. I've had to pick up the pace a little bit with some extra responsibilities. So, but nonetheless, I am ready. I am stoked. So before we dive into even the cards, I'm going to say a couple things first. I really feel like the audience tuning in to this pile specifically are children from the 80s and 90s, and I feel like you grew up watching Darkwing Duck, Sonic the Hedgehog, Kim Possible. I feel like you were really into the shows like mostly from Disney. Cartoon Network just wanted to pop out, but I guess the 3 main ones I remember growing up would be Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon, and I definitely feel like you guys feel those vibes. And that would really stand to reason as we are using, I think it's called the Mystic deck, or the Mystic Medley deck. I will list all decks I use below in the description box, so you will get the correct name. With your guys' energy as well, I'm picking up that you guys are very lovely people, very empathic people, highly empathic, I'm being told, but you doubt yourselves a lot. I'm feeling kind of like a stir crazy energy. Like some of you have been going through the ringer lately with life. I feel that some of you are kind of in this waiting, this resting period, if you will. You're so eager to get to like the next part that you're not fully reaping the lessons you're supposed to right now. And Spirit and your guides are like, rest, chill, take account of what's happening, reflect as best you can, because this is not all for naught. We want to get you to the next spot, but what happens, right? If we keep spinning our wheels and it's kind of like the dirt just keeps flying up behind the wheel and we don't get anywhere, that's because there's still a lesson to learn. So that's a really specific message for some of you folks out there. I do pick up kind of like a confused energy of what am I? And I think that's totally okay. I was going through a kind of what am I crisis a little bit ago myself. So hopefully we can provide you some clarity and hopefully give you some divine guidance. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. What I did was I asked your spirit guides to give me one energy to represent you. I don't know if you can see these 2 creepy eyes just peering in from the dark. And then we have this cave. Given the energy and the illustration on this and the energy I'm picking up, I think you guys are maybe kind of a nervous kind of folk too. You're not quite comfortable within your own body. And you know what? I mean, who really is at any given time? Being comfortable with yourself takes a lot of time. It's a lot of self-work, and you're going to want to do that work every day. And this is not, I'm trying to steer clear of self-help stuff, so forgive me on that. But the cave, when I read the definition of this, let's read it together real quick, just so I'm not saying anything incorrectly or quoting the book wrong. But the energy I'm getting is you guys don't quite know yourselves yet. It's kind of like you're afraid to venture into that cave because you're afraid of what you're going to find. And I think your guides and spirit are definitely egging you on to sit within, just sit by yourself more. It doesn't even have to be in a meditation, but just get to know you. And that's such a silly thing because we spend every second of the day with ourselves, right? I really think life is more about creating yourself. I think, I'm trying to think of like a good way to phrase this. it's not that you don't know what you like and dislike, it's more of you just need to spend more time figuring yourself out. Because I see like a lot of confusion right here. I feel a lot of confused energy when I'm pulling your guys' energy through. I think you just need to take a little bit more time and sit within yourselves and think what vibes with you and what doesn't. And that's an incredibly personal journey, but let's go ahead and read the description from the book. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city, while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend to the fire. I think, okay, that was going along with what I was saying. It's like you guys are afraid to sit in the quiet, and you're afraid to entertain the thoughts that might pop up. It's kind of like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourselves to be like figuring out life's biggest questions, and that's not what it's about. This is really about just getting to know you and tend to yourself. What are you needing? What is it that your heart is calling you for? What do you need to tell yourself right now? My light started flickering, and so I'm definitely taking that as we're on the right track. So now with the Lovers, this card, I mean, that kind of really goes along with what we were saying, right? This is about coming into unity with you. You're not quite here yet, but in order to like step into these intuitive gifts, you're going to need to know some stuff about yourself, what you will stand for, what you won't, because I will tell you what I've been learning in spirituality, in tarot practice, being a medium. All of this is all about setting your boundaries, what you are okay with. And I feel like you're definitely being called to get into this space with yourself before you start stepping into your intuitive gifts. I think you are already highly intuitive people, especially given the empathic vibes I'm really picking up. I'm also getting like some real like witchy vibes. Like you guys are some pretty cool witches that are tuning in. I think some of you might be like, and this would go with the cave energy, and not being quite in unity and harmony with yourself. You guys are like, you're afraid to come out of the broom closet. You're kind of afraid to show the world who you are. Do you owe the world an explanation? Do you know how many tons of people are on social media not giving a crap? I'm trying to really steer clear of bad language, because I know there might be some parents tuning in and little ears listening. So I don't want to be responsible for anybody's children using curse words. Anyhow, I think after you come into this, right, then we come into this hangman status of like, what I'm really hearing from this card though is like, you need to let go of what you can't control. Like, you're kind of like, you're holding yourself back in so many regards. Like, I keep seeing that tire spinning and dirt kicking up. Let me get this straight. You guys are very, very smart people. It's just sometimes we get ourselves stuck in a rut, and we're so unsure of where to go. If up is down and down is up, we're kind of like confused in what direction to go in. And we realize we have the key all along. Like, we could just reach up and cut ourselves free. Like, it's that simple. I think if you just would chill out and sit within the quiet, right? Getting to know ourselves and coming into harmony with what we are and accepting what we are, we're going to go, okay, you know what? I know, and I didn't die. This is so great. I feel kind of like this sense of relievement. The sense of relief. I'm going to go ahead and cut myself down, because after that, that's when the magic is going to start to happen. You'll start co-creating with spirit. You'll start really stepping into your own, hitting the ground running. And that's what the Chariot is all about too, is like you're on, not fire, but like you're racing towards something and you're co-creating with spirit. And take whatever term resonates. You're co-creating with the universe. You're co-creating with God. There's the thing, I feel like you need to unite. You guys need to hear it because it's coming through. Meet God halfway. So that's what I'm hearing when I look at this card. It's like, for example, you are going to, whatever it is that you guys are sitting with, I really feel like I'm getting like witchy vibes though. Not necessarily any type of witch, like a green witch or Wiccan, nothing like that. And I'm sorry if you hear my stomach. I just feel like you're so uncomfortable with that. If you guys are hungry and I'm channeling your hunger, please go eat something. Please grab a snack. Anyhow, as soon as you get comfortable with what you are, and here's what I did when I first started, if this is going to help anybody whatsoever. When I was first just reading tarot for more than just myself, for clients, for other people, I said, okay, universe, if you really want me to do this, you really want me to read for everybody and give them messages, if you want me to do the channeling work, I have no problem doing that. But here's what I need you to do. I'm going to come this far and surrender and go, if you want me to do this, you are going to place the materials, the people, and the supplies in my path, and that will be my sign that I know I need to do it. So that, and then I left it at the universe's doorstep, right? I sent up that prayer and hope for the best. And then not even, I think it was a couple days later, 2 different people who don't even, like, they're my friends, but they don't know each other. One had gifted me an oracle deck, and the other had gifted me a tarot deck and a crystal. And I was like, oh, there's my sign. So I came halfway, and then I let the universe come to the other half. It worked through my inner circle, because the universe has to have a delivery man, or, you know, a delivery person. So, but the point is, I didn't hold on so tightly to the thought of, God, this is what I want to do, and if I can't do it, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I was like, whatever it will be, it will be. I came 50, and I let the universe come 50, and then there was the whole 100, right? I keep wanting to quote the Hitch line, so maybe that movie means something to you guys. I don't mean to, like, bring up controversial people right now, like certain people who are hitting other people at the Oscars, but when Will Smith says to Kevin James, I come 90 and then you come 10. And that movie line really wants to keep popping out, so I'm just going to say it in case anybody needed to hear that movie line for any reason. Anyhow, jumping down here to King of Wands, I feel like once, because we're up here currently, once we come back down here, it's like, I feel like you guys are going to be magnificent manifestors, is what I'm hearing. You guys have I'm just noticing I'm noticing this just now. We have 3 Wands cards, and they don't feel like they're in quite the right order. It's kind of funny because we have Page, Knight, and then King, and usually in tarot it's Page, Knight, Queen, and then King. Given these 3 cards, I think that you definitely have fire signs in your birth chart. Some of you could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius tuning in. You definitely don't have to for it to resonate. But you guys could definitely have a big fiery spirit. I think that you guys are total Disney kids. I'm looking at this. It looks like a lizard or like a chameleon. Oh, look it. He's there. And there's like a little lizard guy here. Some of you guys could really like Tangled. From Disney's Tangled. I already said the title. Come on, keep going. So you guys could be really big Disney princess fans by chance tuning in. Anyhow, moving on. I am a big Rapunzel fan myself. This doesn't feel quite right down here. I am just going to move these. Okay. So it's, okay, we're just going to go with it. So I had to readjust there for just a second and get myself sorted. You remember how I was talking about this nervous energy? This guy looks a little nervous to me now that I think about it. So I think we're definitely onto something with the nervous energy. I went over ahead and like switched the cards. And I'm doing that because I definitely felt they were out of order. I think you guys definitely have hunches. You know what you are. I think you guys are witches. Many of you, I think, tuning in are witches. I think you know definitely the power behind intent and the power behind words. I think you're also, a lot of you tuning in are psychic mediums. I'm just going to put that out there. But I think you're afraid of what you are, too. Are you afraid of parental judgment? Do you think you owe your parents anything? That is between you, yourself, and you to work out. But I'm going to remind you, this is your life, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, to live it to the best of your ability to serve, because nobody can live your life for you, Pile 3. You are living your life for you. And I'm not trying to give you a pep talk, but your guides are like, stop living for other people and live for yourself. Give yourself this freedom. And which would definitely speak to these cards right here, coming into harmony with ourself, accepting things. And also, this is Gemini energy. So some of you could definitely be Geminis tuning in. Definitely don't have to be for it to resonate. But I feel like there are some air signs that are definitely tuning in. But give yourself that freedom. Give yourself that grace wanted to come out too. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong by stepping into your intuitive gifts. Like I said, as long as you aren't hurting anybody, let me make this abundantly clear. If your family is making a big to-do, if you're coming from a religious background and they're like, oh, you're going against God, you're going against the grain. If they're claiming you're hurting the family because of that, you might want to reevaluate that and do what's best for you. And I'm going to leave it at that. So that energy is definitely coming through. I have had to face that with some of my inner circle, but I had to come into harmony with myself, stand within my own truth, and give myself that freedom to pretty much walk away from what wasn't serving me and continue what makes me feel good, which is tarot reading, channeling, and all. Like, I love the metaphysical, I love the spiritual world. So, and I'm not giving that up for anybody. I don't believe in the saying family comes first. In many cases, I just don't believe that's true. I think it's used as a guilt trip, and I think it's a sorely misused phrase. But that is my personal stance on it. You guys just might have some reevaluating to do. Anyways, I'm sorry, we're not here for that pep talk, but I just keep seeing like somebody struggling with their family on this, and their family trying to like emotionally push back on them in a not so good way. I definitely do see you guys stepping into this power. I keep seeing cauldrons too. Like, hold on a second, because something is telling me to pull from a very specific deck. Okay, we will get there. You know what? We'll do it as we get into your oracles. Let me ask for a clarifier card, because I'm a little stuck right here. So Pile 3 Spirit Guides, can you tap me into the collective of Pile 3? Give me some clarification on these bottom 3 cards, please. I hope you guys are getting more out of it than just my babble, by the way. Can we get a clarifier card, please? There we go. Knight of Cups. I think... okay. We have a bottom deck of Judgment. We're just going to put that right there. I was going to try to just do this with the 7 cards, but in the spiritual world and in the metaphysical, we lead with intuition, right? And I think you guys definitely while you're highly intuitive, you're still learning how to trust it. And I guess which would actually speak to this being reverse the Knight of Cups. So Cups is a highly intuitive suit. And for me, like, what I'm getting is a couple things. Like, it's that confirmation to start reevaluating your inner circle and walking away from who no longer serves you and what no longer serves you, and racing towards what does. So I'm going to leave that right there. And then I talked about this a little bit with pile 2. So if you guys, I also meant to say that as well. If you guys felt to pile 2, you might want to go check out their pile, because theirs was related to judgments from others and all of that as well. So I just want to talk about this judgment card real quick. I really love the judgment card for many reasons, but I love this because look at how happy these skeletons are. And it looks like Judgment Day, right? And sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just, it really gets me. Like, they're skeletons wearing shoes. They were buried in their shoes in the caskets. I don't know why that's so funny to me. But, like, look, they're so excited. And to me, it's like they've finally relinquished all judgment. And it's time to move on and ascend to their best lives. And that's the energy you guys need to start embodying. So when you do, it's going to be maybe a little bit scary at first. Like, let's just say you were manifesting something kind of small, and then it immediately comes in, because Wands is a very fast energy. Wood burns really quickly, and I think a lot of you know that already. But you're going to be like astonished. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, I wonder if I could do that again and again and again and again. And you can. You just have to come and meet the universe halfway, right? And let the universe pick up the rest. And the universe, by the way, will do it within its own time. It's called divine timing for a reason, and it drives most of us nuts because we're human. And as humans, we're like, okay, universe, can I have it on this day at this time? That would be great. And the universe is like, no. I know what's best for you. You just, no. Hush and let me meet you halfway there, bud. Sometimes the universe be like that, you know. So anyways, I see you really like taking off with this energy as well, and really honing in on your craft, both witchcraft and your intuitive gifts as well. And when I say psychic mediums, I think you guys already have a pretty big gift for channeling. So I think some of you probably self-read tarot cards. Like, maybe you do it for a friend here or there, but you really mostly do it for you. I really see you taking off with this, really owning to the witchy vibe. But I see you guys really enjoying yourselves and bringing a lot of fulfillment to your lives. Being the master of this craft, which is what the King of Wands is all about, is mastering that, you know? Mastering your craft, mastering that power within you. And then, like, let's look at the King of Pentacles. Look how happy this guy is. Like, it's with the King of Pentacles. I can talk, I swear. With the King of Pentacles, it's like you've reached ultimate abundance. And like, this was your bottom deck energy. I'm just going to show you for your oracles that we're about to drop in. But I think you people, I think you guys are already pretty abundant, like in love and dedicating your time to people you love. I think you're really good at managing your money as well. And that would also stand to King of Pentacles energy. Some of you could definitely have earth signs within your birth chart. It's probably not a major one, but I think it's there, and I think that you have good money management skills. And I think that comes very intuitively to you, which, by the way, that is a gift in and of itself, because it does not come intuitively for the rest of us. So, into me I see, opening to discovery. We're going to come back to those, but I was told to pull you guys a quick card from the Halloween Oracle. So, final 3 spirit guides, you know what? There we are. The witch. the earthly weaver of the worlds. This is definite like manifestation power. Like, look at this fire energy, and then we have all this fire energy down here. This is beautiful. This is your confirmation from your guides of like, listen up, witches. Like, this is your call to action. I don't know a lot about witchcraft. I just know that there's got to be intent behind what you do. I know that some of them work with runes. Some of them are like to really work with herbs and plants. So you guys could definitely be one of those. And I think that's really wonderful. I'm sorry if the card kept going this way. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at this down here while talking and pulling the card in weird ways. But definitely, most of you are witches. And some of you may have had a past life as a witch. Those can't, by the way, I have a candle lit over here in the corner. And the flames have kind of been matching your energy. They're like a little like kind of like, I don't want to say dull, but as soon as I said you had a past life as a witch, the flickering started picking up pretty immediately. I feel, now when I say dull, I just feel like you guys are within that confused state of like, what am I? And I'm in this, you're in the state of trying, you're spinning your wheels. That's all I meant. I don't mean that you're dull people. I think you're quite lovely people. I think you're just very unsure of yourselves at the moment. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we've all been there. So with the witch, which we just talked about, we're going to put her right there for now. The cards are probably going to get a little bit messy. One day I will have this all figured out, you guys, I swear. Okay, into me I see an opening to discovery. I mean, we called this energy from the beginning of like getting in tune with ourselves, sitting within the quiet and kind of figuring things out. This card is definitely all about that. And also pile twos had like the hermit, and they were being called to go into like meditation and sit within things and realizing they always had the key to everything within themselves all along. The crazy thing is, as humans, so there's the human body, and then there's a soul. Or if you believe we have soul, I definitely do, because what else is powering this meat suit, right? This human suit is this ball of energy, which is our soul. So all of us are born with these great abilities to tap in, remember who we are, and use these intuitive gifts. But with society, it's kind of like the witch, right? Witches had it really bad back in the day. Or if you were even thought to be a witch, right? Like, it was like you were going to get burned at the stake for the safety and security. And because people feared witches. People fear what they do not know. Sorry, I don't mean to keep getting sidetracked. Do you guys have ADD? Am I channeling some ADD right now? Or ADHD? I'm looking at this guy, and like we talked about him being mastering your craft and everything, but I keep hearing dad when I look at this card. Are some of you afraid what your dads are going to think? You don't have to tell him if you don't want to. I'm just going to say that. But witches used to have it pretty bad, right? Sorry, we're going to jump to this card. Yep. Either someone's ADHD is coming through. Deep breaths. Which is not a bad thing, by the way. But people feared what they didn't understand. So they would burn them at the stake, right? When it could have been a really good thing for that community. For people to learn how to tap in and to their full potential. Their community could have thrived, but because somebody didn't understand it, and then they started fearing, then they start, torturing and killing and all of that. So maybe with you guys as having a witch as a past, or being a witch in a past life, that really stands to reason why this would come up, and then we're touching on that again. And then we're talking about life and all of this and remembering who you are. Sorry, one second. The kitty cat wanted out. I'm sorry. She moved the door and it scared me to high heavens, and then I had to go and get the door for her. She's an older kitty. Anyhow, oh shoot, now the door's open now. One second, guys. Had to go fix the door because then I pull in other noises that I don't want interfering with the reading, and obviously I feel like I keep talking in circles, but I feel like the big message to what you need to know about tapping in ultimately is knowing that you have these gifts. You don't have to be anybody special. You don't have to be of royalty. You don't have to be of a special status or like the diamond in the rough to own these gifts. You already have them. All of us are born with this skill set. None of us are taught to use them. We're just taught to tune them out because people are afraid of what they do not know. People are scared of what they do not know. I think mediumship, spirituality, and metaphysical are all going and getting a better rap nowadays, for sure, and it's become pretty mainstream. So there's a whole community out there of people, and I think if you guys opened yourself up, you would definitely, oh, look at that, opening to discovery. You guys would definitely find like your community, your peeps, and definitely be safe when you do so. Be discerning when talking to strangers on the internet. I heard my kid cough. Okay, anyways, but be open to discovering your gifts, and you're going to find them. And I think I'm picking up that now pile one, like we're going to come back to this, but pile one had this card too. So you might want to go check out pile one's reading as well. You might have messages in all three piles. You might. So anyhow, you guys just have to give yourselves a little more credit, coming into harmony with yourself, realizing you were the key all along to opening up. So we're going to put this here. So with chakras, I think I'm hearing you guys are a little out of alignment, and you might want to call on your spirit guides to come in and do like a chakra cleanse. So like an energy cleanse. And do your own research on that, please. Or you might want to go see Reiki, or even you guys could be called to do, like to book a session with a Reiki master. So you might want to look into that. That is what I'm really getting. But other than that, like I feel that when you guys are in total alignment, you guys are like intuitively unstoppable. I feel like you guys probably have a pretty good stamina for channeling. Okay, then we have nature. I just talked about green witches earlier, like working with plants and herbs. I definitely think that when I see this card. White light, angel, epiphany, bag of marbles. Okay, I'll be honest. Well, the bag of marbles is throwing me off just a tiny bit here, so we will pull the book on that one. I don't mind pulling the book on things, but with the nature card, I think you guys definitely love nature. Mother Gaia just wanted to pop out. You guys are huge. You're like, you guys are just really into nature. You love to go hiking, and I think everybody likes to put that on their hobbies. It's like, oh yeah, I love to go hiking, but I think you guys really mean it. I think you guys really like to get out there. I think some of you really love to garden. Some of you really love to forage, putting those plants in your cauldron. I see it, girl. I saw that very clear as day. But I think you really appreciate the earth and all its beauty. And in a way, that's a really rare gift too, is because so many people are caught up in the hustle and bustle. We forget about the beauty of nature. So your guys' eyes are wide open to the beauty that surrounds you. And you're pretty in tune to the energy and what Mother Gaia wants to tell you as well. I feel like I also want to tell you, you might want to look into grounding, some grounding practices, whatever resonates with you. Please do your own research. Everybody's grounding practice looks a little bit different. I like to go out in the dirt barefoot and connect with the earth and myself and my guides and spirit, and kind of do my recharge that way and do like a little walk around my yard barefoot. So you might like to do that, or it might look something different to you. I'm hearing some of you like to go put your foot in water, like a stream, and sometimes a bathtub if that's not available. My light just flickered again. So some of you, I know I've called out all the signs, but I think we got a good variety of signs that are tuning in. So I'm hearing like Pisces energy. Especially when we just talked about water, which is a water sign. You guys are definitely protected. With white light and angel, your guardian angel is definitely like telling me, girl, preach. Tell them to get their chakras aligned and cleansed, to get their grounding done. They have a higher purpose here that they need to live out. and they need to come into harmony with themselves, realize they had the key all along, cut themselves free, and start racing towards that energy and co-creating with spirit, right? Oh, yeah, your angels really spilling the tea on you. Like, tell them. But your guardian angel is very nice, I feel. Angels are known to be pretty straightforward and pretty task-oriented, but it doesn't mean that they can't be nice, right? So I feel like your guardian angel, you may feel like they hate you. They definitely don't. You may feel like your guides hate you. They definitely don't. Which, fun fact, your spirit guides used to be humans too. So if anybody would understand, it would be them. With white light, I definitely feel like you guys are you're very protected, and you're probably really good at protection rituals as well. Let's just pull a book on that one real quick. Just to make sure. Maybe add in some messages as well. Oh. Okay, here we go. The universe surrounds you with light and protection. So as we were talking about, you have received this card as the universe wants you to know you are protected and loved from above. White light is a universal energy that is available for your protection at will. The angels... That's so funny that would fall out with this card. It's so perfect. I love those synchronicities. The angels of the universe reside on the spiritual level, and you have the ability to call them in when and if you need them. This is true. I call angels in all the time. They are wonderful. The white light psychic reading card is a gentle reminder that whenever you are worried, feel unsafe, or in need of heavenly protection, you can simply call on the universe to surround you with its warm, protective, radiating light. White light is a protective bubble that keeps you safe from any negative thoughts, feelings, energies, or entities you may feel have around you. You may feel you have around you. These energies can be a living person on the earthly realm or a deceased being in the spirit realm. White light has been called on since the dawn of time to protect any human being who feels they are in need of assistance from above. As your guardian angel and your loved ones in spirit reside in this realm and vibrate at this frequency, it is important to remember to call on them when needed. You may sometimes feel so stressed and disconnected from the universe that you forget there is also help at hand from the universe and the spiritual realms above. Calling in white light is such a simple thing to do, and it can immediately lift your vibe and mood and your feeling of being safe. The universe wants you to know in your heart you are always safe and protected from above. Do not ever hesitate to ask for assistance from the universe, angels, and loved ones in spirit. I just think that's so funny that I was just talking about this and this card fell out when we were talking about your guardian angels and your spirit guides. And that is just so beautiful to me. Epiphany. With this one, I feel like I'm feeling that you guys are going to have a big light bulb moment pretty soon. It might be this reading, it might be afterwards. Sometimes when we're doing like really mindless things or sitting within the quiet, we have a light bulb that goes off. And I think that moment is just around the corner if it hasn't hit already. It's your bag of marbles. I don't know what they're trying to say, I'm going to be quite honest. So I'm going to pull a book on that, and then we're going to pair it to these other ones in your reading. What in the world? You guys have to see this. It's a different picture. It says bag of marbles. This is bag of marbles. That's a misprint. Okay. All right. Focus, center, and be organized. I think we've definitely touched on that this whole time. You have received this card as a sign from the universe that you need to relax, and focus on the smaller details in your life. At times, life can be overwhelming with its fast pace. What did I just say? This is awesome. Do you ever feel stressed, disorganized, forgetful, scattered, or unprepared? This is a sign from the universe. This is a sign the universe is letting you know you need to slow down and recenter your thoughts and emotions in order to calm your soul. This card represents you being scattered and that you may feel you are losing your marbles. Okay, got it. It could be indicating it is time to focus. You are trying to do too many things at once and are distracted. You need to ground yourself to regain your clarity. We just touched on grounding. You or a family member are having memory issues. Oh dear Lord, I don't know about that. Take that as it resonates. This card can also represent a loved one in spirit who may have suffered from memory loss issues such as dementia or Alzheimer's. if this card comes up during a reading connected to a loved one in spirit, it can be a sign from them that they have healed since passing over to the spirit world and have their memory or their marbles back. The universe can sometimes show me this psychic symbol via a bag of marbles with a hole in it, where the marbles are dropping out one by one. This symbol is a message that you need to focus and pay attention to the challenges you are currently experiencing in your life to regain your clarity. I think we just talked about that way earlier in the very beginning. So I understand. Okay, now I understand what this pairs with your reading and also doing grounding, getting realigned. You guys are a little unaligned at the moment, but also relaxing. Remember I talked about seeing the wheel that kept sputtering before and it kept kicking up dirt? You guys want to keep moving forward, but you're stuck because there's something else right now. But the universe is like, stop. You just need to focus. What is going on right now? What do you need to take note of? Breathe, do some grounding, meditation, whatever that looks like to you. Wow. I feel a little dumb for not getting onto that, but it definitely goes with the rest of the reading. Whew. I feel a little bit out of breath, but I really hope this reading made sense and resonated with you guys. I'm going to bring the Witch card right here in case somebody wants to screenshot this as a reminder. Anyhow, this was your reading, pile 3, and I really hope that it resonated. Please let me know in the comments, and I went to say chat and talk. We will talk later. See you next time. Bye.